Well, do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 171. Today we're going to talk about my trip to LA starting tomorrow. We'll talk about NBA sports if you want. The crazy political rhetoric today, which I'll give you my opinion on. And Mouthpiece is next. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 171. Okay, so we are headed for LA tomorrow night. We're going to be doing a meetup game from 1 till 7 at Hustler Casino. And I'll be playing on the stream next week. Probably Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. That's the goal. But I'm not sure if he can get me in on Tuesday. So for sure Monday and Thursday, 2 times next week. And I'm feeling a little bit better. I got me an IV yesterday. I used to get those like twice a week during the World Series. And she told me that I was the most dehydrated she'd ever seen me. And she couldn't even get the vein in my arm. So I got that done. I feel so much better. I was in so much pain, and I just felt like I hadn't been drinking much, and I felt dehydrated, and sure enough, I really was. So feel better. I'm going to LA looking to hopefully do well and make some money. Last 3 trips I've gone there, I've made like $60K. So, and I played really well. So hopefully I'll be able to do the same and play really well. Been watching some NBA this week. My Lakers are winning every day. LeBron James is playing like he's 25. I don't even know how he's doing it. I mean, he has to be on some kind of designer steroid. I just can't believe a man is 40 years old, is maybe, like, as crazy as it sounds, like I said, he's still top 10, but I mean, he might be top 3. I mean, Joker, SGA, and LeBron. I mean, LeBron might have moved himself into the top 5. Yeah, Cade Cunningham's really good for the Pistons. You're right about that. And Luka can't even make a shot, and they win every game. I mean, well, what's going to happen when Luka starts just putting up 30 a game and shooting 50%? And I mean, I'm just so impressed by how good the Lakers look defensively. I thought the loss of AD, they were just going to get burned inside. Instead, their defense has been fantastic. So I don't like them tonight. I kind of like the Clippers on a back-to-back. It's going to be really hard. I saw questionable LeBron and Luka. I'm sure one of them will play. But the bottom line is they're literally one game out of the 2 seed. Now they do have the 4th toughest schedule the rest of the way, including 6 games in 8 days. But I mean, if the Lakers could get the 2 seed, man, you never know. I haven't seen LeBron play defensively at this level since his Miami days. I mean, it's pretty impressive to watch. So it's Friday night, 5:30. A little bit slow here. I don't know where y'all are. That's okay. My week in poker, I haven't played much this week. I played on Monday. I won 11,500, and then I played on Tuesday, and I only played like an hour on Tuesday. like 8,500. And then I didn't play the last 2 days because the game was really good, and there was some of the people that play in the game stuck a lot, so I wasn't really able to get a seat, which is fine. I've literally won back 42, 62, 80 of the 98 that I lost Super Bowl week. So, but I'm down 38,000 since I got back in the game a couple months ago, which, it's not much, but I'm used to winning, and I feel like I'm playing better, which is good. I wish I was getting a little bit more reps in the game, but that's fine. I'm, like I said, this is going down to LA and playing live. I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully I play well. I haven't played live. I played live cash Super Bowl week, and on that Friday I won like 18K. I thought I played really well, but that's been really about it for the last year. So I was going to play the Poker Go mixed game tournaments, but I was really in a lot of pain, and I'm not the type of person who really likes to play that many tournaments anyways. I love the World Series, and that's about it. I do like to compete, and it'd be fun to go down and compete at the Poker Go studio, but I don't know, man. I don't like putting up 5,000-10,000 for tournaments, especially when I'm a little bit on the cash poor side. I got plenty of money, but I don't want to take it out of my Bitcoin. So, yeah, it's been a nice little comeback, and hopefully we'll keep it on the comeback. So, looking forward to going to LA this week for the Meetup Game. Hopefully, if you're in LA, anybody in LA wants to be down for the Meetup Game, I'll be happy to sign autographs and pics and meet anybody that wants to be down there. And then I'll probably go hang out with my cousin on Wednesday. I don't really know what I'll be doing, but I'll probably keep myself busy down there. What do I think of the Triton series? I mean, a lot of the pros are going there because they're pretty soft. I'm not if I wanted to play tournament poker series, I would. Most of these people that play are backed. Even back in the days when I always played, I was always backed. I have no interest. Like, I have nobody that I would even ask to back me in these tournaments. And if I was playing full-time tournaments, I would play in the Poker Go studio and somebody would back me. And when somebody backs me, it lets me play at a high level. And like when I always played on my own, it was always me playing a lot of cash, and then you take the money you made playing cash and you play tournaments. So, but it's been a struggle. Like I said, I had the one losing month, which is probably like the 5th losing month I've ever had, but I've won back 78 of the 98, and so actually this was this month, so that was the first week of February. So unless I win back 20,000 today, I'm gonna have like 5th or 6th losing months I've ever had. I usually don't have losing weeks, let alone months, but all my losses, like I look at all the hands I've lost, they're pretty much self-inflicted. I thought like I ran bad. I think I've ran pretty good if you ask me. I just can't make mistakes. So getting a little bit better. That's what you have to do, get a little bit better. Let's see what else is going on in the world. One of the biggest things going around the world is the big Oval Office meeting with Zelensky today. It was pretty crazy, but like I was talking to Eugene Katchalov, whose family is from Ukraine, whose family lives in Ukraine, and I asked him what his thought was on the on what happened today in the Oval Office, and I'm going to kind of read to you what he pretty much said. Give you a good idea of what the Ukrainians are actually thinking, right? And it was pretty good, you know. So you know, he told me this is somebody whose family lives in Ukraine, okay? And he said it was incredibly disrespectful how Zelensky handled himself, and to do this in public in front of journalists is just insane. Most of my friends here in Ukraine don't support Zelensky, but I was in a big group of people earlier who do support him were in shock with his behavior today. The guy needs to go. Trump and JD handle themselves so well, in my opinion. No one here wants to continue fighting. Everyone realizes there's no way to win. All the local men are hiding from conscription. They're basically hiding because they're rounding them up and putting them on the front lines to die. And it's kind of a no-win situation, you know. He also said that most of smaller cities are empty of men now, and only the poor are fighting. So no matter what they're telling you on our media, that's what's going on in Ukraine. He also said that they have a local version of like the FBI there, and the level of corruption is just unheard of and way higher than it used to be. And he said the same thing that I said. Putin wants to do business with the U.S. again. He just wants to be respected. So everything is in the hands of the U.S. And, you know, it's just, that's just what's going on, you know. He wrote, it's crazy the amount of nonsense they make up about Putin. So no matter what the media is going to tell you, this is what's going on in Ukraine from somebody whose family lives there. And I've been trying to tell you guys this for a while. So, you know, we need a strong alpha like Trump to put his foot down and end the war. So, you know, that's what's going on there. You guys want to talk about that, you can call in. A little bit slow here tonight there, Danny, on a Friday night. Maybe it's, didn't we do a Friday? Oh, we did a Friday at 8 o'clock and we had a lot of people. Friday at 5:30 is kind of slow, huh? So, I mean, Ivy used to be the best. I don't know if he is anymore. He's funny. His sister was at the charity event, and she gave me that hat that I was wearing, and I won a shitload of hands wearing that hat. So I'm gonna like wear that hat when I play poker over at the HCL, because I'm very superstitious, and I won more hands in that charity tournament than I have playing poker maybe in 2 months. So yeah, that's what's going on in the world. My poker world is I didn't play much this week. I wish I played some more. I was really a couple days ago I was like really depressed. I don't know why, but I was. And I think it was it yesterday I was depressed, or the day before? Yeah, it was good yesterday. It was the day before, right? I was just in pain yesterday, and I got the IV, which really helped me a lot. So, you know, I get depressed like when I'm in pain, you know, and I hadn't been in pain in a long time. So, you know, now I feel really good today, and that's kind of like what's going on. So let's see what else is going on in my life. So we talked on Monday. We talked about, me going down to Hustler Casino, and I really, so every year, usually last year it was March 13th, I went down there, and now this year I'm going down like about a week earlier, and I'm very fortunate that if I want to play on the stream, Hustler stream, I could play on it anytime I want. And I probably should play like 3 or 4 times a year or more. But we have, there's some plans going around that HCL is putting together where I'm going to be playing on a full-time stream. I really can't talk about that right now, but so you guys will be able to see me play a lot more. I'm kind of a person that never likes playing on stream. I don't want people to know how I play. Everybody thinks I'm a complete nit, and I don't want them to know really how I play. I'm probably a lot nittier than most people, but I'd say everything I'm winning this week, I stole, literally. Like, I made very few hands. So, I look at it that way. And that means I'm playing pretty well. When you try and steal about 11 pots and you steal all of 11 of them, that's a good sign, And there were small ones, I picked up, there was one hand in a bomb pot where it came like 4-5-9 with 2 hearts. And I check called the ace-3 with the ace of hearts. And then the heart came on the turn and I bet 1,100, got raised to 3,300, and then I just moved in for 9,900. And he snap called, folded, and I showed ace-3. And I said, too easy, buddy, too easy. Right? And so I pick up like 5K there. Then there was a hand where I raised the 9-10 of clubs, and it came 7-8 deuce, and I bet the flop, got called, and ace came on the turn, and I bet the turn and got called, and then the river I overbet, and he shows an ace and folded, and I showed 9-10 and said too easy, so I picked up another 2,500 there. So like there's 7,500 that I stole just in those 2 hands. That was pretty good. And so I really didn't make many. I didn't play that much this week, but I didn't make that many hands. And hopefully I'll be able to play tonight and do well. And then I want to go down to LA this week and really play well and pick up some cash, because like I said, I'm a little bit on the cash poor side, so it'd be nice to pick up 40 or 50 and 30. I don't care. I'm not greedy. My goal when I go down there is pick up 30. Anything more is like gravy on top. So I don't actually put a number on what I want to win or lose. I'm just fucking joking around, but I just sit there. I want to play well. If I play well, I'll get results. Like, I just don't believe, maybe you guys think differently, but and yeah, you could run bad, but I just believe if you play really well, you're going to win 90% of the time. And playing well means making the folds when you're beat and making the bluffs when you're supposed to, and getting value out of your hand when you have a big hand. And so, I'm looking forward to it. I just I hope you all tune in, and hopefully I play well. You can't. It's really weird. It's like you tell yourself you're gonna play well, but doesn't mean you're gonna. My brain's a mental case, so I don't know when I'm gonna play well or when I'm not gonna play well. It's just like a whole to do, I guess. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm out of pain. Where's my sidekick? What do you mean? My sidekick as in my cats? Yeah, where's my cats? Oh, there's one right there. Why does she always jump in the bathroom and take a big poop whenever we're doing a podcast, and then we almost die from the smell? So it's like she does it on purpose. I'm telling you, I think she does. Yeah, my cats are doing well. How's Mookie? Is he still on your lap?
Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, why don't you bring him over here? Let's show everybody Mookie Dookie. You guys won't even believe how big Mookie is. He's the cutest. Brandon Wong. Yeah, where is he? That's funny. Where is Brandon Wong? What's that static? Oh, there he goes. Come here, Mookie Dookie. Hi, baby. Look at my baby kitty, my little kitten. Wait, what are you doing? I'm showing you off to the world. Come on, look how big you are. Show everybody how big you are. You're 6 months old. Look at this. Look at that face. You want to go back to Danny? You don't look happy. All right, I'll let you go. Okay, Mookie Dookie. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Look at you. Oh, he's so cute. All right, there you go. Go back to Danny. There you go. He's so funny. He sits there on. It's amazing. He sits there on Danny's lap the whole time when we're reporting the podcast. It's like he's totally in love with Danny. So, yeah, Brandon is probably thinking of. He's probably tuned into MSNBC and trying to figure out how awful Trump was today instead of how great he was on the world stage. What's up, buddy? Hi, Derek. How's it going? So, yeah. So, yeah, it's the crazy world we live in. It's pretty funny, actually. Trump's been in office for 1 month, and I can't even believe how, to me, it's like everything I voted for, and it's like he's just doing incredible, right? And it's like, to the Dems, it's like, why aren't eggs prices gone down yet? They've gone up. Oh, really? Like how is Trump going to, he has to implement policies to help the farmers, which is going to take like probably 6 to 8 months for any policy he puts in to work. Instead, they're just coming up with Elon's the devil. You know, I don't know if you guys heard, but did you watch Elon on Joe Rogan yesterday? It's really good interview. It's like 3 hours long. And, he talks about how the Dems have lost their mind, and they keep repeating like they did to Trump, like he's Hitler, and like people all want to kill him, and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how I think going against Elon is like a huge mistake, because so many people on both sides of the aisle love him. And then like even Jeff Bezos came out yesterday, like he's changing the entire opinion column at the Washington Post to lean more conservative and be more for the free markets, and the liberals lost their mind and half of them quit. But the world, one thing I'll say, like after talking with Eugene today, it's like I agree with him. Like the world's in a much better place with Trump in office. You feel safer. You feel like the United States is going in the right direction. And of course, if you listen to fake news media, MSNBC or CNN, you'd think the world's coming to an end. But like nobody even watches that shit anymore. So, people who are informed know the world's in a good place, a much better place. And, I don't really want to be too political because, it's really easy to get in heated discussions. But it's most of the people have woken up to what's going on in the world. And I mean, we're 1 month, we're 5 weeks into the Trump administration, and he's on the world stage telling Zelensky, no more money, we're ending this war, and the pro-war liberals are going crazy. I couldn't even imagine. The left is now pro-war. It's the most incredible thing. Actually, it's just whatever Trump does, it's opposite. Yeah, hey, welcome from Scotland. Yeah, the thing is Argentina, they got Miley. And she listen. Doesn't she understand that MSNBC is all propaganda? I mean, there's nothing real that they say. It's crazy. Well, hopefully, that they will get your own Trump in Scotland. Hopefully, because they have the German elections coming up, and hopefully, like Elon's really been pushing for the AC whatever the right wing in Germany, and you've got to get your border secure, and you've got to care about the people. The open border experiment didn't work out very well, and people look at Trump's polling 52%, and that's pretty much where he won the election. So if his poll numbers were down in the low 40s or 30s, whatever, but they're trying whatever they can to say negative things to hurt his poll numbers, but he's doing so much good and there's too much, there's too much alternative media on X that spreads what's going on for them to get a grasp into. I mean, the fighting, like the things that there's the Elon is the devil shit is just crazy. But listen, he's public enemy number one because he has the platform that spreads the information. So I'm really looking forward. I wish these Epstein files would actually come out and be real. Like, I want to see the videotapes, because they've got the videotapes. The FBI took them all from the island of, even if they redact them and hide the girls' pictures, I want to see who's molesting the underage girls, and I want to see them go to jail. And we know who they are. They're probably Prince Andrews, Bill Gates. I mean, people so powerful that, they're scared to death. But, I mean, you can't just throw Ghislaine Maxwell in jail for 20 years, don't show any part of the trial, and just us believe, like, she collected all these girls. Well, like, who was with all these girls? You know what I mean? The German elections, have they already happened? I have no idea. I haven't been paying attention. I think you're right. I think they were like last week, but I didn't know who won or anything. I should look that up, actually. I kind of thought they were last week too, but maybe that the Conservative Party didn't win, and that's why we don't see anything. But I'll have to look that up. Look that up. Tell me, the German elections happened already? Yeah, I'm not sure. But I know I saw Starmer was at the White House like 2 days ago, and he's like, us Britons are the most free speech. No, you're not. You're putting people in jail for a Facebook post and for X posts that go against your government. You're not for free speech. Yeah, poor Rampage. He never wins. But I don't think he's very good at poker. But he's a nice guy. He runs kind of bad, too. I don't know. I think you create your own luck in poker. I really do. I just like if you're focused, your instincts are gonna tell you when you're beat, and you're not gonna pay it off. At least for me, that's how it works. I just, people ask me like I said, when I lost that 85 in one session, and then I started off the next week down 21, where I didn't get away from ace king on a king 10-8 board. The guy had 3/8. I always look at like what I could have done different. sometimes you just have to pay it off and you just lose, right? But most of the time, you could tell yourself, I should have sized differently. Maybe I could have gotten away. It's a lot harder online than it is live, I'm spot on with Starmer because he can't just sit there your pre-speech and you're putting people in jail for 5 years for Facebook and Twitter posts. Just give me a break. Like you guys are crazy. So yeah, I saw Zelensky call Vance a bitch in Ukraine. Like I said, I read to you exactly what Eugene Katchalov said to me today. It's like he thought that Trump and Vance were awesome on the world stage and that Zelensky was completely disrespectful to Trump and the administration. I mean, and his family, who I read it to you, like half of them were pro-Zelensky. They were completely disappointed how Zelensky acted today. So, I mean, that's coming from people that live in Ukraine. So, don't listen to the fake news and watch the entire clip. Like, watch the entire 49 minutes, right? Watch where it takes a turn. It takes a turn when Trump says, because Zelensky says, well, we had a deal in 2019 and he broke the deal and invaded us, right? And Trump said, you were invaded in Crimea under Obama. He goes, I sent you javelins. He sent you sheets. And then you were invaded under Biden. He's like, you can't keep calling Putin names and then have a deal. Because as much as you hate Putin, he hates you. And to get a peace deal, you have to not hate each other or try to find common ground and agree to a deal. And Trump's right. Like, he's like, what's going to come out of it by me siding with you and calling Putin all these names? Oh, he's a dictator. Oh, he's a killer. Well, you think he's going to come to the table and make a deal if you consistently say that? And Trump's right, Like, you can say what you want, right? It's like the art of the deal, right? It's like, to me, I believe that Trump is playing Putin and he's kissing his ass and making him think he's siding with him. Because if you make him believe that you're on his side, he's going to come to the table and agree to a deal. And how people don't see that is crazy. And Zelensky just wants to say, well, we had a deal. Putin's this, Putin that. He's not gonna honor it. He's just gonna keep attacking us. Trump's right. He's like, well, he never attacked you under my administration, and I don't think he's going to attack you now if we get a deal. So, yeah, I mean, he said we gave you $350 billion and all you have is 1 million dead people. Like, the war has to end. Like, they can't beat Russia. Like, they were given very bad information. All these people didn't have to die. There was a deal on the table 2 weeks in, and Biden administration and the military-industrial complex of the USA, they wanted a war. They wanted a proxy war. They wanted a proxy war with Ukraine, and that's why they wanted to kill Trump. That's why they want to kill Elon. These people are all about money. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. Anyways, let's take some phone calls and see what we want to talk about. Poker. We talk about my trip to LA. We could talk about any poker hands you want. We talk about Mr. Keating's hand, the 7-9 of diamonds hand. I had a long talk. I'm very good friends with Mr. Keating. I could read you the text. Let me tell you, we could read the text when me and Keating talked about the hand. I'm sure he won't mind because what he said. Hang on one second. Yeah, go ahead. Hold on.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. Tell me what you want to talk about. So, let me. I want to read the text about the Keating hand, and so I texted him, "Man, that 7-9 was quite the deep read, my man. I definitely understand the hand more than others after watching it a few times, but to actually execute it in the moment was pretty special. Kudos." He wrote, "Thank you. That's my kind of hand. A showdown." I wrote to him, like, "I watched the hand like 4 times. I like your thought process. Only hand I feel he can have that beats you is King 7. But does he jam King 7 on the river? I loved how you were able to process it all in the moment." And then he's pretty funny. He wrote, "In those moments, the blood's flowing. It's hard to reason. I wish I could say I thought it through as much as others are able to after it, but I didn't. I just had him on spades." And so I wrote, "Well, that's what I meant. You put him on spades on the flop and stuck with your read. All the times I make mistakes is when I go away from my read." He wrote, "Exactly. And you stuck to your guns." He says, "Yeah, that's a must." And so I get it. He put him on spades and he stuck with the read. Really impressive. Talk more in a minute. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. Oops. Give us a call back. We lost the call. But if you put the guy on spades, he can never have an ace in his hand. He just went with it. And I understand why he put him on spades, because that's the type of guy that 3-bets ace X pre-flop on all the time. And if he's on spades, he could have 7, 10 of spades and have him beat. But welcome to the Mouthpieces, Mike.
Mike.
What's going on?
So I'm wondering about the lodge in Texas.
Yes. What about it?
I've seen news stories where people are getting robbed in the parking lot, gunpoint.
I mean,
is that true? Are those true?
I don't know. I know that it wouldn't shock me. I know that it was happening in Houston everywhere. I know they did have a robbery about a year and a half ago. I mean, when you're all over social media and talking about all these big games that you're spreading, I mean, you're gonna have people. It's just people kill people for $40 fucking at 7-Eleven. So, it wouldn't shock me one bit. You know what I am?
Yeah, that's what.
You know what I am?
I mean, that's a video I've seen that was, that they were getting robbed in the parking lot. There was at least 2 on the local media in Texas. And they tried to I heard he tried to open a new card club and they turned him down.
Yeah.
Because there was people getting robbed. I mean, you'd have to at least have somebody on the inside watching people cash out.
I'm not.
Wins
Listen, I get along.
He goes out to his car and they take it from him.
I get along with Doug. But, I have no problem with him. But Doug cares about Doug. And that's just what he does. I was a little shocked that he decided to get paid and work for the WPT Gold. That shocked me. It tells me maybe he's not doing as well as people think he is, because why would he work for WPT Gold? I mean, and I was a little shocked to see that. Yeah, I really don't know. I've been watching it. Does this happen recently?
Well, no, I mean, it's just, it happened like once a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. You know, I don't know. I haven't been to Texas in a year and a half, so.
You think that 10-7 was a work?
Oh, I think that 10-7 was completely a setup job. How could it not be? I mean, there's nobody in poker going to put 65,000 in with 10 high pre-flop. You know, it's just not. You know, it just, and then then that flop comes and they only run it once. I don't believe it, dude. I don't. There's a lot of things I don't believe. You know, I'm a good poker player and I read pretty well, and I could make creative hands like Keating did with the 7-9, but I'll
tell you what I do believe is that I'll believe a police report.
Yeah, like the 10-4 hand.
If somebody gets taken in the parking lot, I'll believe it. The police tell me it happened.
The 10-4 hand that Mario played, that was pretty fucking ridiculous too. And there's nobody putting 65,000 in pre with 10-7. Unless they're chopping the money at the end of the fucking hand. I'm just being honest. I don't believe it. Okay, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Robbie hand. Like, I don't believe that she didn't know. I'll never change my mind. I'm a poker player.
I think she really was that stupid, though. It's wild felt, though. If you go through that hand with actually. And feel it all the way through. Just
remember,
it really just it turns out that she is that bad of a player.
But just remember, she said she didn't know the guy on the inside, yet they were both following each other on Twitter, right?
But I have a question for you. What do you have any information on whatever happened to that guy at the Stones? Whoever he was, the guy that kept looking down at his phone.
Yeah, he reaches out to me.
Whatever happened
Mike Postel.
What was his name?
Mike Postel.
I don't know. Chris
Postel.
Michael
Postel. Mike Postel. He reaches out to me and texts me once in a while. He's like, I've been exonerate myself on your podcast. He goes, I got all the proof. I'm like, okay, well, when you have the proof, bring it on, right? And he's been telling me this now for like 3 or 4 years. He actually reached out to me like 6 months ago. I don't remember what he wrote, you know. But the thing about that Jack 4 hand is, then she's like, oh, I've never talked to him. Then the text where he wrote the word wouldn't not in the text, and then she wrote on her text the word wouldn't not. And so I've never even heard anybody say the word wouldn't not until I saw that. And for both of them to actually write that in the same tweet and text tells me
I'm going to file her into
just remember he was the guy on the inside.
You have to file her under just a bad player.
No, the guy on the inside saw.
It's that bad of a call that you have to.
The guy listen to me for a minute. The guy on the inside was the only one looking at hands. Okay, and that
was the Mike Postel stream.
No, I'm talking about the Jack 4 hand, right?
The Jack 4 hand. Do you think they had the Stones actually had a guy on the inside. The Mike Postel actually had a guy in the stream.
Well,
in the booth.
I know that.
Mike Postel had a guy in the booth. The Jack 4 hand. She didn't have a guy in the booth.
Yes, she did.
Hustler.
She did.
The
guy with the wouldn't not. The guy they fired for stealing 15,000 off of her stack. So Mike Postel, do you think Mike Postel had a guy on the inside? Do I? I'm gonna leave it as.
Do you think Mike Postel had a guy in the string yard?
I don't want to say anything.
Do you think he had an insider in the string yard texting him?
Do I?
Mike Postel.
Honestly,
do you think he had somebody texting him from the string yard?
I'll go like this. You could read me
as he was playing.
Let me ask something. You could read me by what I'm saying, right? I'll just leave it at that without saying anything. So that gives you an idea what I think, right? And
well, that's different than somebody getting robbed in the parking lot in South Texas.
Yeah,
outside of a casino for 2,000. To cash out $2,000.
I don't want to like go totally public, like my opinion, but like I'm not stupid, dude. You know what I'm saying? I watched the streams. You know, I'm not stupid. You know, I have my opinion.
Right.
You know, and I'll leave it at that.
So if you're getting taken care of for $2,000 or $3,000 outside of Doug Polk's card, why would you even play cards there?
I don't know. You know.
And who is actually betting $100,000 a hand inside of there? And
I don't know,
security and everything. Like who is?
Yeah, I mean, you want me to? This guy wants me to answer the question if I think Mike Postle cheated and was. I don't need to answer the question. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'll leave it at that. I read people for a living. I'll leave it at that. And I really don't need to really say much more than that, you know. If you can't...
when you played Omaha, they got to you, and you said you lost a little bit of your edge.
Yeah, well, that was when the guy who ran
because they cheated
Ultimate Bet was playing me head up.
You had him beat.
And he was calling me, and he was looking at my cards. Yeah,
honestly, you got to beat honestly.
Yeah,
but they cheated you.
Yeah, yeah. I know when I've been cheated. I've been cheated twice. You know, two times for sure, maybe three.
And that'll fuck everyone up.
But it destroyed my ability to pull the trigger, and you know. So, anyways, I got to take another call. I appreciate you calling. Have a great weekend, and be safe.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you know, I'm not stupid. I mean, I have my opinion on the Postle situation, and he keeps telling me he's going to exonerate himself. So I'll just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? If 3 more years go by and he doesn't come up with what he said he's going to come up with, then I'll give my opinion. You know, I don't believe the Jack forehand wasn't cheated. You know, I mean, Ryan says 40%, and he runs HCL. I mean, so if the guy who runs it says 40%, I'm sure it's higher. I'll leave it at that. Now that's my opinion. You know, I think she definitely was in on it with the guy. I'm not going to change my mind. I read, you know, if there was proof that came out that she definitely wasn't, I'd like to see it, you know. But I think the 10-7 hand at the Doug Polk stream was 100% a setup, and because nobody put 65,000 in pre-flop with 10-7 to a 4 and 5 bet, and just hoping they both have ace king. Like if somebody has like an overpair, you're just 4-1 dog. Yeah, give me a break. You know, I don't believe it. So 702-329-0480. Give us a call. And I mean, I played poker long enough. Never in my life in 100, 200 games seen somebody put 65,000 in with 10-7, and the flop magically comes 8-8-9 with 2 diamonds with a 6 on the turn. And just like. I don't know. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. You know, played enough poker in my life to know. I just don't believe it. Poker players, even when they have lots of money, they're not in there like throwing money away, you know, unless they know that they're getting it back. I don't know. There's just things I don't believe in poker. I've just played enough hands in my life to know, you know. I don't know. I mean, I've seen people put 10,000 in. I watched a hand recently where somebody put 12,000 in pre-flop with Jack 4 of hearts.
Hey, this is Mike.
What's going on, Mike? Welcome to Mouthpiece.
Wow, nice to meet you, Mike.
You too, my friend. How's it going?
Good. Thanks so much. This is a dream come true for me. My family's here too with me listening in.
Nice. You listen to the podcast a lot?
Yeah, every week, man. Huge fan.
Nice, I appreciate it. So, you got any questions for me today? What's your opinion? What's going on in the world?
Yeah. I had a hand I wanted to tell you about that I played the other night.
Sure.
I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Pretty crazy hand.
What is it? Tell me about it.
Yeah. I was playing the South Point Nightly $100. I'll just tell you the hand from the start.
Okay.
So I'm in the small blind with 10-3 suited.
Okay.
We're like pretty deep, so I'm just trying to. My hand kind of sucks, so I just like 6x it, just trying to push him out. He calls.
Well, is this in a tournament or a live game?
Tournament, live tournament, yeah. It's
okay.
Point.
Okay, so somebody raised. You thought he was weak, so you 3-bet 6x him, correct?
No, I was the small blind. It folded to me, so I just put in the 6x open, yeah.
Okay.
So big blind calls, and it comes ace 5 deuce with a flush draw.
Okay, so you bet.
I actually checked. I was planning to check raise here, go for like a little kind of like sneaky move here.
Yeah.
Maybe act a little weak.
I would have bet small, but that's fine.
Okay, gotcha. Just bet small. Yeah. So I checked and he potted it, which I thought was pretty wild. And at this point, I just think it's full of shit, because like,
I don't know.
Why
he called a 6x. He called a 6x. Whoa! I lost you there. So I'm gonna give you my opinion on the hand, and then maybe you could type to me what he actually had. But like, if he called a 6x open and then potted the flop when you check, like, I think he has an ace. I really do. Maybe in the ace 10 range. That's just my opinion. That's why I would have bet small on the flop. Now you put yourself in a spot where you gotta, if you continue with the hand, you have to like check raise like all in, and hope he believes you. And if he doesn't, you still got 12 outs. I don't know what you ended up doing. If you could type to me in the chat what you ended up doing and what he ended up having, and give me a better idea. I just would have bet. I would have probably bet 25% pot, and then if he calls or if he raises, you kind of know where you're at. I probably would have like limped pre-flop. If he raises big, just fold. If I raise pre-flop, I probably wouldn't have gone that big. I probably would have gone about 2.2x. And then I would have made a small bet on the flop and go from there. I wish I knew what happened. You could type into me what happened. It seems to me like you did two things. I would never open 6x. I definitely would have opened like 2.5. If I did open 6x and he called, I'm got to make a bet on the flop because I got a gutter and a flush draw. By checking and him going full pot, that's like 12 fucking big blinds. It's a lot. I mean, now you're kind of in a pickle. So my opinion is I probably, when he pots it on the flop, I mean, I don't know how deep you guys are, but I mean, if you check raise jam, I mean, you're flipping. You could always hit it. I don't like a call at all. Call I would never do, especially out of position. So he went full pot. Probably, if you guys are, depending how deep you are, I probably would give up, but I just give it up and let him have it there. But I mean, if you don't think he has shit, you could just check jam on him, and you got 12 outs, and if you hit it, and you got all the chips. So remember, you got to get all the chips to win a tournament. You got to have some gamble in you. So that's my opinion. 702-329-0935. 0480. Give us a call. We could talk poker. We could talk my trip to LA. We could talk politics, the world, what your opinion of Trump and Zelensky at the Oval Office today. I told you what Eugene Katchalov told me. Oh, going back to the 7-9 hand. So, I was talking with Keating about it, and and I get his read. He put him on spades, right? And if you put him on spades, comes ace, 7, king, 6 on the turn, deuce on the river. He's got showdown value. If you have 7 something of spades, he's probably just going to check the river. I thought I thought the hand people were giving him, and rightfully so, because when you're in the moment, you have to be locked in, and your read's got to be right. And I totally see his read, and I totally understand his thought process. Welcome to the Mouthpieces, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on?
Got a question for you.
Sure.
So I saw you guys were getting from Full Tilt, you were getting what, $50,000 a month,
Yeah.
and they paid you for how long did that go on?
Let's say 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
I saw that Ivy got $900K a month.
Yeah.
How long do you think that went on? That's a lot of money.
Same amount of time.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I've brought up the Full Tilt. Now, I had a deal. I should have been making like $250 a month, and I never got my raise. And they ended up lying to me about why I didn't get my raise. And they were stealing all the money. And, I've talked about it many times. The money was flowing. People had a lot of money. And when you got a lot of money coming in, you do a lot of things probably that you shouldn't do,
Right.
And, I could look back at, I used to be a complete degen. I was making probably like $250 between playing poker, and I was making a lot of money, but I was betting like the whole board, 10,000 a game sports. So I would always, no matter how much I won at poker and whatever I got paid, I'd owe Phil Galfon like 20,000 at the end of the month. It was pretty funny. I was like, Phil, send me 10 or 20 until I get paid, because I was a degen. I look back now, and it's like, wow, I was just such a degen. And my life has changed so much that it's like I don't even look back at what a degen I was. I never think about it, it's easy to look back on, there was nobody. I was probably top 5 degens in poker, and now I'm the complete opposite. Now it's I everything I make, I take it to heart. You know what I mean? And but that's what happens when bad things happen. I went broke, injury. I owed everybody. I was eating Taco Bell and McDonald's for a year straight to survive. It's everybody in the world has their breaking point, right? Everybody hits rock bottom. If you have leaks, you're going to bottom out. Whether it's drugs, sports betting, alcohol, you're going to bottom out. And everybody has their own bottom. My bottom was February 26th of 2016, where I lost everything that I borrowed from DNEGs, and I had nothing, and I was driving home and wanting to kill myself,
Yeah.
And
I saw the documentary. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and so you got to learn from your mistakes, not feel sorry for yourself, which I did for I was in a lot of pain too. So, it's real easy to play a victim. And once you quit playing the victim, then you just go to work and you get through the pain and you become a better person, right? So,
right.
that's what I'm working on. Like even like I've been in a lot of pain this week, but like even like 2 days ago, I'm like, how am I going to go to LA? I'm in so much pain. Actually that was yesterday. I was in so much pain and I got the IV and I feel much better. But I was like, before I got the IV, my body hurt so bad. I can't even describe it. I'm like, how am I going to go to LA? How am I going to be able to play? How am I going to be able to move? And, but I was going to go no matter what, cause I had already committed. Once I commit to being somewhere, I just show up,
What night does that go live?
What's that?
What night are you guys going live on there?
So I'll be playing for sure Monday and Thursday. But hopefully Ryan's trying to get me in Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So hopefully I'll be able to play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday on the stream. I think we start at 3:30. I think it's an hour delay. And so, but Monday for sure and Thursday for sure next week I'm playing. And I would say 70% that I'll play on Tuesday. He's just got to be able to, he's got to get me in. So he's just got to make some moves. So, hopefully 3 days next week. And hopefully.
Must be making a lot of money from that stream to be playing these big cash games he plays in and loses a lot.
I don't really want to talk about it because, he's been getting crushed,
Right.
I had a long talk with him a couple of days ago. There's some adjustments that he needs to make. Listen, Ryan is a very
he doesn't have the experience playing.
He does. He's very stubborn. He's very stubborn.
Yeah.
Okay, and he thinks he knows it all. But he's a good-hearted person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
but when you don't listen, I know it because when I was coming up, people would be ask me like I was convinced I was better than everybody. It wasn't like now, right? So it's like nobody could tell me anything. It's just like it doesn't matter. I'm gonna win. I'm better than everybody. You know what I mean? And so when you're better than everybody, it's a different. But your ego gets in your way, and I've said this a million times. Egos will break you. Cards will make you. Stay humble, right? And so, Ryan thinks he's better than he is, and I know all the flaws that Ryan has because I play with him pretty much every day. And but I know he's been getting crushed in the big live games too, and he just has to not buy. First thing he has to do is not buy in so fucking deep, okay? And if he buys in, if he buys in for less, it's going to make him not gamble as much. You know what I'm saying? The deeper you are, the more hands you're going to play because,
Did he play with his own money or a stake? You think?
I'm pretty sure.
No, you think it matters?
I would say 90% sure it's his own money,
Yeah.
And he hasn't been doing well, and I really want him to, because he's a good guy. He's a good-hearted person. I know Ryan very well. And I just want to see him succeed, and the company does really well, and like he doesn't need to play in these big cash games for what reason? It's like if you're making a certain amount of money and you have a good life, like why do you need to put yourself through
attention, buddy? Attention.
Yeah, we're
limelight.
But Ryan's already in the limelight. His company is like doing well. He doesn't need people who cares like what people think of you in poker? Like that's not, he doesn't need it, and I do want to see him succeed, like I've seen him lose. It just makes me really, I know what his flaws are. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly, what his flaws are. So like, I don't want to say anything bad because I love the guy, but like, there was a hand the other day he raised with Jack 8 suited, he got 3-bet out of position, which like with a 9K stack, it's just always a fold. Okay. And the flop comes 8-6 deuce and he gets stacked. And it's like this is so unnecessary. You know what I mean? It's like you're out of position, you know, it's like you just don't fold that hand pre-flop when you're like 9K deep, you know what I mean? And if you raise it, you know, raise it in late position, don't raise it up front. So like what I notice about more, but anything about Ryan is like he'll raise and just call 3-bets with a bad stack size with a marginal hand, and because the stack size is so small compared to the game, he'll just go with it. And it's just he needs to like, you know, open, fold to more 3-bets, not 4-bet weak as much, you know, and he's believe it or not, he's a really good player when he's playing well, you know, but when he starts pressing, when he's losing, and he's been losing a lot, you know, he wants to make the pots bigger and make the, you know, and try and win it back fast instead of just telling yourself, hey, that money you lost is gone. Just go back to grinding. You know what I mean? And I get it. I know how it is because I used to be that way. You know what I mean? And listen, Ryan's young, right? Ryan's what, 37, 36, maybe 35. You know, I've known him since he was like 21. So you know, he's gonna figure it out. And he's one of the good guys in poker. You know, a lot of people will say, you know, things about HCL, and they'll say bad things about Ryan. And listen, all the things that Ryan does wrong is because he is a good person and he gets sometimes taken advantage of. And I know when you're too nice to people and you believe everybody's a good person, that could happen, you know. And especially in this poker world, right? Everybody I know that 50 to 70% of the poker world are scummy people that'll do anything to get a seat in a poker game. They'll undercut anybody, whatever it takes for money. And like when you trust too many people and you believe everybody's a good person, you get taken advantage of. I know this because that's how I got set up. That's how I got put in jail, you know, in 2004, you know. So,
hey, when that happened, how did you know not to stay away from that dude when you didn't know that guy really well?
Well,
like you knew all your other friends and people you hung around with.
The weird thing,
you just came out of the blue and then you trusted him.
The weird thing about it, okay, and I'll be the first, I think I said it in my documentary, is I'm not like I am now. Like I didn't have like really like high self-esteem levels, right? And so the fact that my doctor, you know, wanted me to be friends with this guy, and I didn't really have that many friends, you know. On weekends I had the group of people, the entourage I went out with, but I didn't really have any close friends, you know, like the entourage when you go out with people, those are like acquaintances. You don't, you know, it's so, you know, this guy was like trying to be my friend, and the truth of the matter is like I kept my
What year was that you met him?
This happened in 2000 right after I quit doing drugs. So I quit like in July of 2003, and so this guy kind of got put in my life like right after that. Like we had one more party for Pimp and Ho, and that was it. And he kept like. He felt like he was a cop.
He going to bars and taking ecstasy and shit.
Yeah.
At that point,
you
were done with it.
Yeah, I was done with it. But we had the one more party, right? And this was the first time I'd ever charged anybody, because it was like I was getting the big booth for like $5K and the draw, and so I'm like, you know, I was like every week I was putting out like big money, and so I said, hey, you know, this is the first time I like said, okay, $20 each. Like I was still gonna put out most of the money, and if you wanted like an ecstasy tab, it was like 30 or whatever. And so, you know, that's when the doctor put the undercover cop in my life that night, and that's when they were able to say that I was selling drugs, which I wasn't. And then the doctor had me go out and I was so nervous. I'm like getting so much big quantity of drugs, but he kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even in the scene anymore. And so then after then I got him
which should have been a red flag to you.
Which should have, right? But it's like, remember, this is my doctor, right? Like when you get sick, you go to a doctor and he gives you medication. So it's like, it's not like some guy off the street. Yeah, we played poker together, but like when I got sick, I went to his doctor's office, right? If I needed an MRI, I went to the doctor's office.
So the doctor's the one that set him up with you, and did he know he was a narc?
Yes. And
okay.
And afterwards, like after I got out of jail, he cried on my shoulder down at Commerce, saying he cried every day that he should have never set me up. And I kept saying, well, why did you set me up? Like, I should have took the rap myself, but they told me if I hooked some...
So the cops were coming after him.
Correct, and they were going to deport him back to Iran.
Okay.
And I still don't know whether he gave somebody a script that died or he gave somebody cocaine that died or something bad happened. And I'm just like, why would you set me up? I had nothing to do with everybody,
Yeah.
And
Back in that era, though, people weren't just dying of ecstasy unless they were taking 30 or 40 pills.
No. I tell the story every week. Like I would get 100 pills and take 22 people out and my entourage. But as soon as the guy would come to my door, I had an ecstasy test kit. As long as the pill turned blue, it was MDMA. If it didn't turn blue, it was something else, right? Yeah. And there was this one weekend, and everybody got the same batch. So whatever the pills that came in, everybody in town got the same pills from the same dealer, pretty much. So one week, the guy came to the door with these yellow moons, and I tested it, and it came out an orange color. No, yellow color. I'm sorry. And I'm like, well, this isn't ecstasy. And I'm like, and so I told everybody we're not going out this week. And I told everybody somebody's going to die this week, right? And then sure enough, somebody died at Dre's that Saturday night, and they blamed it on ecstasy. And I know it wasn't ecstasy because it was some yellow color it turned when I tested it. And so, I look back at...
What color was the actual pill, though? Yellow?
It was a yellow moon that turned, when you tested it, it turned a yellow color. And and anytime it was MDMA and not mixed with anything, it would turn a bright blue color. And so I was very careful. Like I'm not, just like, I don't do drugs now, but like if I might do a line once or a couple times a year or whatever. But like if I do, like I'll test it for fentanyl. I'll carry like a fentanyl strips in my fanny pack just in case somebody ever, if I'm out partying, if they offer me a line, I want to take one, even though I probably never do. Like I never do, but I'm just saying it's very important in this day and age. Like I would never ever touch drugs without a fentanyl test kit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's how Flack died, right?
Lane Flack, when I got the toxicology report, it said it had cocaine and fentanyl in his system. Well, Lane Flack would never take a downer ever. So he obviously died from a line of cocaine that was laced with fentanyl. And, it's like people, if you're going to do drugs in this day and age, man, you better be fucking careful. Anybody, I mean, you couldn't pay me enough money to take a line of cocaine from somebody off the street if I didn't test it for fentanyl.
Too many people are dying.
Yeah. That's why, I'm a big fan of Trump, like he says he's going after the cartels, and like, I'm like, no way is he going to go after the cartels, but he's going after them. And you saw the president of Mexico, like, we're not going to let your military into our sovereign country of Mexico. Right. Well, you know what? It's like, there was like 23 people running for that Mexican president, and the cartels killed 22 of them, and she got the job. You don't think she's working for the cartels?
Right.
So it's pretty crazy. We live in a crazy ass world,
Yeah.
I mean, who would ever think that you could go out and party and do drugs and now you have to like if you do it, you're like 50% to die.
Exactly.
And people ask me, well, why would they ever lace fentanyl in cocaine? And at first, I had the same answer as them. Like, why would they kill their supply, the people that are buying it, right? And then, but then I figured it out, right? So this fentanyl is like 10 times bigger high than anything. And so like if 10 times more people get hooked on this drug and only 1 out of the 10 or 2 of the 10 die, they're still getting 8 times more money. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty sick, but that's just a fact.
Yes. I got a best friend that died at 46, I think.
Yeah.
Fentanyl pouch. He had a fentanyl pouch in his mouth, but he had taken like pain pills, like 15, 20 a day for like 10 years. So his tolerance was built up. And apparently he took a fentanyl pouch, which I don't even know what that is.
Well, I've told
patch or pouch, but it was in his mouth.
Wow.
When he died.
I tell this story. I don't know. I think I've told this story on this podcast before. So in 2018, I was hanging out with this guy, and he's like, "Hey, let's get high, right?" I don't know if you've watched the podcast. I used to get stoned all the time. I quit doing pot in August of 2022. So like from 2017 to 2022, I was stoned every day, and I had never done pot in my life till 2017. But I was in pain all the time. And this girl told me, here, gave me some pot, and I started smoking it, and it helped with my pain. And next thing you know, I was smoking pot every day. But in 2018, I went over hanging out with this guy, and we smoked pot, and it was like the most incredible feeling I'd ever felt in my life. I'm like, this can't be pot, man. This is like, I've never felt like this before. No, it's just fucking pot, right? And it was one of the most incredible feelings.
Well, if you took ecstasy, you felt better than you did one.
But this pot that I smoked, I'd never felt anything like it. And
yeah. And
so for the next like 2-3 days, I kept
good or bad,
incredible feeling. Like
okay,
it's undescribable. Like
I've never smoked it.
And so I kept thinking about this for a few days. Anyways, but I had to get my pain pills once a month, and every like 2 months they drug test you to make sure you're not doing drugs, right? And I think it was like a week later, I just happened to go in for my test, and I mean, I was allowed to smoke pot, you know what I mean, because they knew how much pain I was in, and they tell me that are you taking fentanyl, Mike? I'm like, no. What? They go, well, like fentanyl showed up in your test. And I knew right away that it was what I smoked at this guy's house, because I'd never had a feeling like that. And I told my pain doctor right then and there, I'm like, oh my God, I smoked pot with this guy. I never felt anything like it. I could have died. So, like, this joint that I smoked with this guy was laced with fentanyl. And remember, I told you, like I just said, for 3 days, I kept thinking about this feeling, and like never had feeling like this before. And I mean, if you want me to try and describe it to you, it's you feel. It's nothing.
Was this the first time, or
that was the only time I did fentanyl. I mean, I didn't know it was fentanyl until I got a drug test.
Quit after he told you that, right?
Well, that was the only time I ever did it, But then I went and had a drug test. Like 5 days later, it came out fentanyl in my system, and so I knew right then and there that what that guy gave me was laced with fentanyl.
Right.
And so. I told him, I called him, and he was in shock. And that was, I knew right away.
So whoever he got it from, he's saying he laced it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel, it's nothing like ecstasy. It's more like, I don't know, I've done a lot of opioids, but I've never got high off opioids. But I would say that I've never felt anything like it. That's all I can tell you. And if I felt really good. So it gives me an idea of how they addict people to the fentanyl, because I took it by accident. I mean, I think about that all the time, like how lucky I am to be alive. I mean, he told me how much. He told me how much fentanyl was in my system, and he said that you have like 4 times the level that you could have died, because like I would kept for like 3 hours. I mean, I must have smoked, took about 10 hits off of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Totally crazy.
I saw in an interview where Ivy said that he quit drinking altogether and that his life's changed completely.
Ivy has quit drinking. Ivy quit doing everything.
He said everything in his life changed for the better immediately.
Yeah. And so, you know, I've become friends with his sister because she's really nice. And she works at all the charity tournaments that I go to, the Matt Stout's charity for the CSOP. And, you know, like we talk about, like I knew Phil, like one of the things I was always jealous of Phil is when I did all the ecstasy in the early 2000s, it affected my ability to focus. Like I used to have like Ivy focus where somebody walked in, I knew exactly how they play. I knew exactly when they moved their hand positions, what they had. I knew everything. And then after doing all the ecstasy, like my ability to focus and read was not near what it used to be. You know, that's why I had to start doing Adderall to focus.
Were you trying to play poker the day after doing that at night?
No, that's when I did the meth, right? So I didn't even know what meth was. So they're like, I would go out on a Saturday night and I would do MDMA until I had no serotonin in my brain. Then we would do lines of coke for like the next 12 hours. Then I would go to sleep, and then I'd go to play poker on Tuesday, and I'd be brain dead. And then this girl like, oh, take a line of this. I go, what's this? And they go, oh, it's called ice. I'm like, what's ice? Well, it's kind of like for speed. It'll help you focus. So I would take like this. I never smoked it because they said if you did, you'd be totally addicted. But I would take this super small line of this ice, and it would make me focus. And I'd play poker, and I would win infinite money for like the first 6 months on it. And then all of a sudden everything changed and you think you're playing good, but people are lining up to play with you because you're giving away all your money. And then it changes on you. So, you know, listen, the thing is, and then like Phil was able to party for an extra like 10 years longer than me before it caught up to him. And, you know, alcohol, drugs is undefeated. There's nobody in poker.
Did Ivy ever get on drugs or just alcohol for him?
Ivy, I don't want to say, but Ivy partied pretty hard. You know, Ivy was...
He just didn't get addicted to this.
You know, he was literally the most fun to ever party with, you know. Like he was great to party with. He's, you know, a lot of people...
Tell me you doesn't be partying at all, right?
Phil's never done a drug in his life. Never done anything. Phil is like the straightest person, you know. And, like now I keep telling him, like, you're getting older, and like, Phil, why don't you take a Vyvanse or a 5 milligram Adderall? And he doesn't, you know, he just doesn't want to. And, you know, a lot of these kids are on Adderall. So now you're playing against younger people that are super focused, and it's, you know, it's hard, you know. I said, well, you know, like he came out like, you know, he's not going to play the main or whatever. And I'm like, Phil, stop making excuses. I'm like, just, you're not sick. Like, you don't have any injury, you know, eat good and start working out 2 hours a day, every day, and dedicate your life to it. If poker means everything to you, like you say it does, you know, he's able to get himself in shape. He's able to eat good. You know, I don't want to hear excuses. Oh, well, it's too hard. You know, that's just kind of an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like I battle. I've gotten to day 6, day 5, day 4, and day 3 the last 4 years. You know, and yeah, do I get tired and do I make mistakes? Sure, we all do. That's poker.
That was hilarious on the podcast you did with him and those other 2 guys when you told him that you ain't even been out of day 1 in a decade.
Yeah.
So why are you worried about day 7 or 6 getting a break?
Well, that's the thing. I told him, I said, Phil, you haven't made it out of day 1 in 5 years. You know, he's like, well, that's because I know I can't win it. And I'm like, that's a losing mentality, right? He always talks about positivity. Like, if you're joining a tournament just to put on a show for everybody and punt off your chips every year on day one, he's on the TV table and he plays like an idiot. You know what I mean? And it's like that's his ego. You know, like if he really wants to win, he'd play a lot better. And there's no excuse. Well, I can't make it. You know, you go one day at a time, one hand at a time, one day at a time, one hand at a time, and you try your hardest to sleep and you try your best. And you know, I just think it's I think it's a cop out. I've told him this. You know what I mean?
What do you think happens in 2003 if Ivy wins that or doesn't? You know, Moneymaker goes out there on that hand instead. What do you think happens? Does poker boom
poker was going to boom it was going to boom anyways, because we started the World Poker Tour and it was starting to pick up steam. You know, it just kind of excelled it when a guy named Moneymaker wins the tournament. You know. Yeah,
but my question is, if Ivy wins it or somebody else, you know, because Ivy had
Ivy had him dead with the nines versus the ace queen.
Differently, if not Moneymaker.
I mean, I still think poker blows up. Just it doesn't blow up in 2003.
That's quick, yeah.
It blows up. It was already getting bigger. It blows up by 2005, probably. I mean, when I final tabled the main event in 2005, I mean, there was like 5,600 people, right? And when I, like, even this year, the closer, I final tabled 3,900 people. You know,
I final tabled my first WSOP in July, the Independence tournament right before the main.
Yeah,
it was my first one.
I mean, listen, people like to say that I can't play poker like I used to or whatever, but I still final table something every year usually. Like last year, I had a horrible year, but that was just a freak. I'll have a good year this year. So,
yeah.
Well, I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling.
All right, buddy.
And have a great weekend.
All right, have a good.
All right. Well, it's 7:10, and I have to go do a few things. And Danny here has to go. Where you got to go, to the Sphere or something? Yeah, he's got to go do something at the Sphere. So we're gonna call it a hour and a half night, and I'll be in LA on Sunday for Meetup Games at the Hustler. If you want to come down, play poker with me, I'll be there for 6 hours Sunday, and then I'll be in LA all next week. Thank you for listening to the Mouthpiece, and you guys have a great weekend. Take care.
The Mouthpiece.